Calm down.
Why are you arresting me? Calm down, bro. Why are you arresting me? Calm down. Calm down. What are you waiting about, bro? What are you looking at?
Arrested him, and they don't know if offences have been committed. That seems a bit strange.
Let's get your details.
Ask him what you're detained for.
What are you doing, bro?
Ask him what you're detained for, please.
Okay, so he's suspected of committing an offence in the road, and then I've seen that he's been pushing back at officers. Looks like he's been assaulting police. At this moment in time, he's detained whilst we obtain his details. Okay, thank you.
I know I say this a lot, but honestly, this dude does not care what the judge says. Sure, he's respectful in court, but let's be real, he's just sweet-talking his way out of trouble. Judge Boyd warned him 7 months ago, word for word. If you drink or smoke again on probation, you could be looking at life in prison. Not maybe, not we'll see, literally life. And what does he do? He goes out, drinks, drives, and lands back in court like nothing happened. And the crazy part? The judge doesn't even consider a real punishment. No jail, no real consequence, just more probation. Like he's magically going to figure it out this time. Here's the thing, if you throw around life in prison as a threat, you've got to back it up. Otherwise, the system loses all credibility. Honestly, a few months in prison might have been the wake-up call he needed, but now, he's probably thinking, be polite and you get another shot. What do you guys think? Was the judge too soft, or did he deserve one more chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you like this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe. I post these daily. Appreciate you all. Take care.
Calm down.
Why are you arresting me? Calm down, bro. Why are you arresting me? Calm down. Calm down. What are you waiting about, bro? What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Walk away, so do not wrong. I am getting do not wrong. Let's bring him over here. What are you arresting me for? What are you arresting me for?
You're facing a charge, assaulting a police officer. But here's the twist, you never threw a punch, never raised your voice, didn't even make a sudden move. So why are you in cuffs? And what happens next? This isn't a what-if scenario. This is a real case that unfolded on the streets of Britain, and it carries a powerful lesson for anyone who values their freedom today. We're breaking down exactly what went down, why it happened, and, most importantly, what you need to know to protect yourself if you ever find yourself on the wrong side of the thin blue line.
Come over here, speak to
I'm not doing no. I was just stood there, bro.
Yeah, no, get it right.
I was just walking past.
I need to speak with my colleague and whatever else, make sure that no offences have been committed.
They arrested him, and they don't know if offences have been committed. That seems a bit strange.
Let's get your details. Go from there, okay? You okay with it?
Our story begins with a man, we'll call him John, standing in protest for his country. He's with a group, but he isn't causing trouble. He's exercising his right to free expression. Then the police approach. They tell him he needs to leave. John agrees. He starts to move. But as he does, the situation changes. Officers take hold of him. From their perspective, they are escorting him away. From his perspective, he's being manhandled against his will. He tenses up, instinctively. He pulls back slightly. Not to fight, not to harm, just a natural human reaction to being grabbed unexpectedly. But in the eyes of the law, that reflex is a tripwire. Resistance, however minor, is seen as defiance. More officers join in. John is overpowered, dragged to the ground, and cuffed. As the steel bites his wrists, he asks the question anyone in his position would. Why are you arresting me? The answer comes back cold and clear. For assaulting a police officer.
What are you detained for?
What are you doing, bro?
Ask him what you're detained for, please.
Okay, so he's suspected of committing an offence in the road, and then I've seen that he's been pushing back at officers. Looks like he's been assaulting police. At this moment in time, he's detained whilst we obtain his details. Okay,
cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
It's alright, bro.
We'll let you give your details, mate, and then we'll pop back. He's giving his details,
Well, that's fine. We just want to speak in private. Just where there's no crowd. And once we've got from there, I'll speak to my cop. Yeah. No, that's fine. Let's get his details. We'll get my crowd lost to speaking to.
Now, when you hear assault, your mind, and John's, probably jumps to images of punches, kicks, or a full-blown attack. But did any of that happen? Absolutely not. So why the arrest? This is the first critical lesson every Briton needs to understand. The legal definition of assault is far broader than most people think. Under UK law, assault doesn't require injury, or even significant force. It revolves around two key concepts: assault. This means causing someone to believe they are about to face immediate unlawful violence. No actual contact is needed. A raised fist, a sudden lunge, or even a clear verbal threat can qualify battery. This is the actual application of unlawful force. And here's the kicker. That force can be as minor as an unwanted touch, a push, a shove, or even spitting. It doesn't need to hurt. So, when John instinctively tensed and pulled back against the officers holding him, he technically committed battery. His muscles resisting their grip? That's force. From a purely legal standpoint, that alone can justify an arrest for assaulting a police officer in the execution of their duty. It feels unjust. It feels disproportionate. But under the letter of the law, it's enough.
Give me details.
What is it, section 50?
We don't know, because he said he's suspected of committing offences in the road, so blocking the highway somehow, I don't know. But then so they're trying to pull him out of the road, which sounds like to me. They tried to pull him out of the road, and then he kicked off. And then they're talking about assault police. But I don't think that'll go that far.
That was fucking mental, that wasn't
He just erupted out of nowhere, having the right fight, shout with someone who was next to raise.
Side over there. He walked in it, so I'm running.
Went mental, didn't it?
This police should have got to work first, though. They had plenty of time to just calm her down and bring her away.
See you soon before, alright?
Blue lights here.
Details. I might just put him off. Tell him to go leave the area.
This brings us to the second, and perhaps most dangerous, legal trap: resisting arrest. The safest answer? Don't. If an officer decides to arrest you and they have any lawful reason, yes, even a thin technicality like we just discussed, physically resisting becomes a separate criminal offense. By struggling, you're not protecting your rights. You're giving the police a stronger case against you. Here's why. Under common law, police have broad powers to prevent a breach of the peace. If they believe your actions, or even your presence, could cause disturbance or violence, they can act, order you to move, or arrest you. So when the officers laid hands on John, they likely believed they were preventing trouble. The second he resisted their pull, he triggered the assault charge. One move. One domino. And the chain reaction begins. Back to our story. John is now under arrest. It looks bleak. But then, something remarkable happens. A group of citizens steps forward. They are calm, but firm. They tell the officers they saw everything. They say John did nothing wrong. They have their phones out, recording. They become witnesses. And suddenly, the dynamic changes.
Their actions are being scrutinised, recorded, and questioned by a dozen people.
So, just listen to what we've got to say. Okay, so, obviously we'll explain what you were detained for, being my colleague obviously just detained you. Yeah, so, we're obviously releasing you now. I just need to explain a couple of bits, okay? So, obviously if you go back up there, and you start engaging in activity like that again, then we will have to arrest you, but we're giving you the benefit of the doubt, we're going to give you a warning, okay? If you're saying you're going to get drunk, you're going to go get a tin, and then you're coming off after. Alright, go on then. Oh, well, I'll come with you. So,
He's de-arrested now. Good man, I'm good. Let him go.
Well, that way, give him a warning, he's about to go.
I'm going to go.
You take him out.
An arrest that looked routine a moment ago suddenly turns into a public showdown. The officers are tense, the crowd is watching, and the cameras are rolling. After a few minutes of back and forth, something unexpected happens. They cuff John. They let him walk. John was lucky. But let's ask the question you're probably thinking. What if that group hadn't stepped in? Their intervention likely changed everything. They didn't fight or yell. They stood firm. They recorded. And they became witnesses. That single act tipped the scales of evidence and de-escalated the situation without a single punch thrown. John's story is chilling, but also empowering. It's proof of two truths: knowing the law isn't optional, and solidarity works. Your rights are your shield, but so is community accountability. So if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, remember this: the line between keeping the peace and overreach is razor thin. Police have a hard job, but their power is not absolute. John was cuffed because of a technicality and a chain reaction. He was freed because people refused to look away. Know the law. Assert your rights. And when it matters most, stand together.